Hi everybody, this is Dr. Una and I am a pediatrician out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, and we are all in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic, and I just wanted to share with you a few things that I have been doing in my practice. A lot of them have been discussed. Just want to share it to kind of encourage somebody, maybe get some ideas, about what you can do and all of that. So before I go on, I want to say thank you to everybody who's fighting really hard to in the forefront of the pandemic to, help the patients and help stop this whole thing that's going on. Truly appreciate what you're doing. And, sometimes it can be discouraging, especially we don't have the right equipment and all of that stuff. But, we're going to get through this. Okay. And then, of course, if you own your own practice, then it's kind of like a double whammy because you have, the health implications and then you have the business implications of COVID-19. So there are a lot of things that, a lot of doctors have been talking about, ways we need to pivot, ways we need to adjust to make sure that we come out on the right side of this after the pandemic is done. So from a business perspective, this is what I did. So today I had a come to Jesus meeting with my staff. And it was not really to scare them or threaten them to lay them off or anything like that. But you don't want to be the only one bearing the brunt of the financial implications of COVID-19. You are going to need to adapt. You're going to need to pivot. You're going to need to change things. And you do need your staff to be in a frame of mind to do that. You don't need people who are mediocre, people who have an attitude, people who are not flexible, people who will say, that's not my job description. That's not what you need. You need a team who is like, whatever it takes with you. Because, right, that's probably what you're saying. Like, my practice is going to survive this, whatever it takes. So I kind of had that meeting to let them know what was going on. And, I set the stage, like, this is what is going on. If you look, you see there's nobody in the airports. People are not traveling. The travel industry has taken a major hit. Stocks have dropped like crazy. Restaurants are closed. They're only open to deliver or drive through. So the number of people who've lost their jobs and all of that kind of stuff. And, even in the medical world, there are a number of, practices that have had to lay off people, and it makes sense to do that. And I said that to kind of make my point. And then, I was like, but what I want to do is survive this and actually thrive in spite of it. And I was like, so I want a team that is willing to do that with me. And it would require that your job description now becomes whatever it takes, right? So you can't tell me, well, this is my job. No, whatever it takes. Okay. So we have to be team players. We have to execute what we do excellently. We have to be flexible. Whatever it takes is what we do. And then just roll with it. So that was kind of good, and got some feedback, and everybody was kind of pumped and was like, let's do that. So that was the first thing I did, and I recommend everybody does that. If you don't communicate as the leader, that you're creating vacuum, and nature abhors vacuum. So there's going to be some other conversation that's going to fill that void. So you want to have that conversation, and you also want to share the responsibilities of what's happening. It's not like, well, I don't care, I'm just going to be here and you're going to give me a paycheck. That's not the way it works. We can make this work, but we're going to need to make changes. We're going to need to adjust some stuff, and I want you to do that with me. Okay, so that was the first thing, was the staff meeting. So I had that before the day started. And then the second thing we did a lot more telemedicine, and which was great. I think that we did 10 patients for telemedicine, and the patients loved it, the doctors loved it, and probably the business loved it. And the reason why we're really pushing it is, one is a lot of people who are sick are just not going to come in because they're like, yeah, my eye is pink, but so much better than coronavirus. And, we want to still get them taken care of. That's on one side. On the other side, I do a lot of scenario planning. So what that means is there are states that are completely shut down. And even if, medicine is still considered essential services, but that's not gonna stop people from not coming in. You know what I mean? Like, they're still gonna go like, we're not going in. It's not life or death. So if telemedicine is gonna be the vehicle we use to ride that time, I really want it really integrated now, where all my patients know about it. They know when to use it. They know what kind of visits it's for, know that their insurance covers it. And you would think if you just say telemedicine, everybody would be like, oh my God, we've been waiting for this our whole lives. And they just come in by the droves. But that hasn't been my experience. My experience is that we still need to do a lot of education around it. We still need to tell people about it. We still need to explain it because many people don't know what telemedicine is. Like I talked to somebody, say telemedicine, virtual visit, like what's that? Not a patient of mine, but so that goes to show you even though, Teladoc is doing 12,000 visits a day, there's still many people who don't know about telemedicine. So we're really pushing that as an agenda. Our mailing list, we have emails going out every day to let them know about what we're doing. We have text blasts going out. When people call in for certain appointments, we're like, you know what, we can see you in the comfort of your home. They're like, what's that? What's telemedicine? I'm like, really, it's like FaceTime with your doctor. And, so that's been really good. So we've been pushing that, even more so than we need to, just in case we need it more. Okay, so that was the second thing. And then the third thing is I had a meeting with my biller and I'm like, hey, scenario planning again. I told you I do a lot of that. And I was like, what if the insurance companies are like, we're on lockdown, we're working out from home, but we have decreased staff. And so it slows down payments. She was like, I didn't think about that. I was like, yeah. So if that's going to happen, what should we be doing now? Oh, we should be buckling down on collecting every dollar we're owed. I'm like, perfect. All right. So that means claims will be going out in a timely manner, which they do, but we just need to tweak and tighten everything. So claims will be going out in a timely manner. They'll be followed up in a timely manner. If there are people owing us money, we're collecting it. If you need extra hands, we have a little downtime. We can pull a front desk person to help you get this done. But we need to act as though in 3 weeks, they're going to tell us, oh, we're going to slow this down and collect everything we can collect now, right? And I was like, we're doing telemedicine. We know they said it's being paid by the insurance companies we checked. I was like, I want reports on that. Let me know who's paying, how much they're paying, and all of that stuff. So if there's anything we need to tweak, we're tweaking it now, not 100 patients later, okay? So that's what we did. So I had the meeting with all my staff. We pushed the telemedicine agenda. And we have more, scheduled tomorrow. And then we had the meeting with the biller to sow that seed so that we can stay afloat, we can thrive in spite of this. That's kind of the plan. I think that's the plan for everybody here. I think I may get some questions as to the flow of telemedicine, the way we've done it. So we've used, for this period, we've used Doxy.me is what we used, and we have the providers, the doctors set up where they have a computer with their webcam where the telemedicine is happening, and then they have their laptop where they're documenting at the same time. So they're documenting real time, sending prescriptions real time, billing real time, like it's just, seamless in that way. We blocked off time slots for it, so it's not necessarily in between patients. So we get back from lunch at 2. So we opened up spots, 2 to 3 for one doctor, 2 to 4 for another doctor. And then we had one at the end of the morning, so from 11 to 12. So we blocked it in a way where people are not waiting in the waiting room. And we did it that way, and so far so good. It's been great. So I just came on to share what I'm doing, just because we live in very different times, and maybe you're discouraged, or maybe you're like, I don't know what to do, and I just wanted to throw this out here to give some ideas. I'll probably pop in and just share behind the scenes what I'm doing, and I hope it helps somebody else. And so if there's, another doc that you're like, oh my gosh, you should hear this too, then you can tag them in the comments. They'll be happy you did. And if there are any questions, you can post them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. But until next time, it was nice chatting with you.